Everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. We are doing a mystery mystic reading. This is part 5, and part 5 to Keimani Latigue's just devastating now death. It started out for me when I did her readings. Part 1 and 2 were a missing persons case, and then it quickly changed to she's now deceased, and it is at the hands, allegedly, of her so-called father, Darnell. So I did parts 1 and 2, check those out. I did an opening oracle reading for him, specifically Darnell, and then we have a detailed tarot reading, which is part 4 for him. This is wrapping up his reading. We've got some additional questions I wanted to ask before we wrap up, and then we're going to move on to the biological mom and then the grandmother. Okay, that's the order in which I'm called to go in. So the next question we want to ask is, what's the nature of Darnell's relationship with Dorothy, the grandmother of Keimani, and the mother of the biological mother? We have 5 of fire, 5 of wands, conflict. There have been conflict, or there was conflict in recent times. Okay, it's interesting. Let's get some dynamics of their connection. 5 of fire is petty arguments, conflict, dealing with conflicting priorities as it relates to Keimani. Maybe Dorothy felt a way about Darnell from time to time. Either she spoke up about it or she didn't. But then there's times when she was joyous. We know, because this says joy, right? It's 9 of water, 9 of cups. Gifts, wishes fulfilled, perhaps because he was allegedly grooming Keimani. He was also not just providing gifts and attention towards Keimani, which was giving Dorothy a break, but perhaps he was also bringing about different things for Dorothy herself. So there were times when, a wish was fulfilled in terms of their dynamic, but it was times where there was petty arguments and conflict. In fact, the 5 of fire can represent preceding this whole tragic turn of events. 5 weeks prior, there was even some rumblings or difficulties between Dorothy and Darnell. Spirit, what else can you share about their dynamic? Controversy. Cold shoulder. I work with what's called jumping cards, meaning that I like to see what cards jump, preferably cards that jump out on the table upright, but sometimes I'm called to look at the ones that are like this. All right. Anything else, Spirit? Okay. Now, I know that there's been these rumors that, and maybe there is some truth to it, I don't know, with this 9 of cups. But I know it just feels like they may have hung out together at some point. They hung out. There's multiple little dolphins here. So it's not just them two together. Even with the 5 of wands, that's usually showing like depicting 5 people in the mix of a dispute. So I'm not really strongly picking up on romantic vibes. I'm not even quite sure of where that rumor was born, to be honest, because that is quite the rumor. It's not far. It doesn't mean that it can't happen or not be true. It's just weird to me that rumor started circulating around about Darnell and Dorothy. Okay. But we did get controversy. It says drama, scandal, truth coming out. Doesn't necessarily mean the truth of a intimate relationship, but it could just be that they always had some level of controversy. Maybe she really questioned the paternity of Darnell, or, you know, his motives. The truth will be coming out as it relates to their connection in the coming maybe 5 weeks from now, from today at the time of this recording. I am recording this on Monday, March 14th, 2025 at about 2:45 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. So we have cold shoulder, breakup, distance, or separation. Cold shoulder. I suppose this could denote some sort of something going on, but friendships can break down. Familial relationships can break down and break up and have distance and separation. I do know that it sounds like he would come in and out of Keimani's life. Perhaps he was coming in and out during the years that Dorothy had her. So there were times when she was not quite sure. Dorothy was sure of Darnell's motives, and he had to kind of win her over. Hence why we have the 9 of Cups. I just feel like he may have been hanging out a lot with Dorothy to win her over, hanging out within their house, within her house in social gatherings. With these cards here, we have unfinished business, and this is what I'm talking about here. So he goes out, Darnell. He comes back in. He goes out. He comes back in. It says unfinished business, proposal, forgiveness, or reconciliation. Proposal. What kind of proposal? I don't know about a marriage proposal, but maybe a proposal to take Keimani off her hands, or take her, you know, for the weekend, or a proposal to do something nice for Dorothy to help her out, or unfinished business. They're always seemingly like if he went away, he knew he could come back in and propose some kind of loving, nice gesture, a gift of some sort to make it right. Legal, law, and justice. Now, this is an interesting one. Now, this could be foretelling of something coming down the line between these two. It could be that in the past, there was a question of the legality of his right to be around Keimani, or he had a question about that towards Dorothy, let's just say. Could be both. It could be that both have criminal records. It could be that them two tied to something related to Keimani or not, comes out to light, comes to pass. 9. So I was telling you all that the 5 of fire represents the timing of 5 weeks, either 5 weeks into the future, 5 weeks into the past from the day we're doing this reading, or the season of mid-spring. The 9 of water represents, or 9 of cups, for me, represents the timing of 9 days or the season of late summer. Okay. So it could be that we find out more about this unfinished business, about what he was doing to reconcile when they were on the outs, when they had distance and separation, when he was separated and gone and doing whatever the hell he was doing. Then he come back, reconciliation, forgiveness. She'd be like, okay, you know, I trust you. And I just get a sense that she had her own things she was dealing with. Maybe she wanted to still have good times and celebrate and spend time alone, and raising a, you know, preteen to teenager didn't always fit in those plans. But this card is quite interesting to me. You all let me know what you think it means. All right, that's question number 1. Question number 2. I just want to know, is he going to talk? Is he going to say something to law enforcement about what happened? Has he talked? Devil. It's interesting. So he's not fully confessing, is what I'm getting a sense of here. This is interesting to me. You know why I'm saying it's interesting? It's not to say he won't come forward and say more, but it feels like he's parsing out what he wants to share. He's not giving the full story with this card. It also denotes some kind of devilish behavior. He feels bonded, trauma bonded to someone, or bonded to someone with this card. It is a no card. When I asked the question, has he really fully like told the whole story to law enforcement? He's definitely holding back. I do want to know though, in the future, will he, fully allocute or say what is the truth? Ace of Pentacles, it may take upwards of a year or the season of autumn for him to come forward with all the information, to really lay it out on the line. But if he told anything, it's minimal, and he's still kind of protecting someone. We have here two people bonded to this devil here. Who's the devil in this? Check out my readings for him in parts 3 and 4, because I talk about how he's a character in a script. But eventually he will come to say something, okay? He will. But this whole business too, and this is why I side-eye the biological mom. Because she's saying, oh, he's going to confess and say all this stuff about the grandmother, Dorothy. But we haven't heard anything. Not to say we will hear anything anyway. It's an active investigation. But I just am not believing that he's going to say anything. She specifically said in one of her interviews that he told her everything. He's going to tell everything about Dorothy. Really? How would he know that? How would he do that? Why would he do that? How do you know that? Were you in the hospital with him? How would you know that he's going to confess and tell everything about Dorothy? So I thought that was interesting. Spirit, what's the nature of what he will or what he has already revealed? False accusations. Look at that. And my Secrets Revealed True Crime Oracle, that has 180 cards. Maybe he's saying he's falsely accused. Okay. Oh my God, I'm getting sick. Sometimes it's hard to do it from the perspective of the person who's accused of doing the heinous crime, but it helps because then I know what direction to go from there in the readings. Okay. And because it's so large, I have to shuffle it in sections, This is Darnell. What has or will he say in the future? Okay. Okay. We'll stop there for now, I think. We can always come back to this question later in the future, in a future reading about Darnell. For now, this is going to we're going to be wrapping this up soon because I'm tired of thinking about him. So we have false accusations. R, non-consensual assault. That's sad and scary. Mental jail. And health issues, natural causes. Okay. I don't know what that means in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. Clarity, Spirit, on the health issues, natural causes, dark hair. I don't know. Someone with dark long hair. I don't know. Motion. Stick these to the side. I'm not sure how they fit. It's not giving me clarity. That's okay. Mental jail. False accusations could be that he is saying there's some things he's being falsely accused about, or this could mean someone who's close to Keimani or the situation has been falsely accused. That could be his cousin KP. It could be Dorothy. It could be Tiara. It could be anybody. Or it could be himself. Like, I'm falsely accused. I didn't do that, but I did this. This, I think he did already admit to, because the DNA is going to be on her. So it's going to be no way to wiggle out of that. So he has to admit to that, right? So, and then the officer in Columbus on the news admitted that this was at play. Dorothy accidentally let it slip in her interview that he confessed to this. But it almost feels like anything beyond this, he just can't bring himself to fully say it yet, okay? He's in a mental jail. You might even say that he's been, tormented for a long time. Really tormented for a long time. Much of like his life with the devil card, devil representing the number 15. This man, I think, is 30, 31 years old. So much of his life, he's been tormented. He could even attribute like, oh, I couldn't have done this because I have some sort of issue, or someone who is close to the situation has some sort of health issues, or this card could be like something develops with him, some kind of health issue or condition that makes him start to want to do right. I suppose the Ace of Pentacles is like offering up something. You see the hand? It's offering up something. Eventually he's going to have to offer up something in order to get something, in order to have a new beginning. I could see him maybe turning his life over to Christ, for example, and having to seek out forgiveness and etc. And in doing so, having to fully tell the story. But I don't get a great sense of him just telling it all. If the situation runs deep, there's key players. Now I see why the cards come. Someone with long hair too involved. He hasn't told the full picture. And in fact, at this point, he's saying, he didn't do it, or somebody else did it, or he's being falsely accused, or someone else is being falsely accused, or I did this, but I didn't do that, and all of this going back and forth. That's what I'm picking up on here with these cards. You all let me know what you think these cards mean. Lastly, what is next for Darnell as it relates to court, his case, himself, himself? She came out in part 4. Keimani's going to make sure that the truth around Darnell come out. It's going to be slow. There's going to be some aspects of this case that moves seemingly quicker than most because they already have him in custody, and he is the person who they have nabbed as the one who took her life, right? So that moved quickly and swiftly. But there's going to be other parts of this case that grind almost to a halt, that move slowly. Earth is the slowest moving energy in the tarot. We're talking years in the making. So this card came up in part 4 when I did the tarot reading. I remember it from late last night when I was doing the reading, and it was associated between Keimani and Darnell's relationship dynamic. And for her to pop up again tells me, oh yeah, I'm going to be haunting his ass, and I'm going to be making sure that the truth comes out in different aspects of this case. This could be involving the Child Protective Services people. This could be involving other family members, but it's going to be slow going. So just expect that is what I'm getting a sense of here. Her body is evidence of what, like, there's going to be so much coming through her phone, her body, her surroundings, her computer. There's so much surrounding her in terms of evidence. So I want to know what else is coming up. Wheel of Fortune. Ooh. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. He is not going to have a good time. Mother of Earth. A mother. He's going to eventually crack on a mother that's involved. Mother of Earth. But it's slow going. Truth is buried somewhere. I wonder if that's the murder weapon. What else is coming up for Darnell? Power control. Okay. Ah, this came out. Look at this. Look at that. Somebody's misfortune. His misfortune. I would say that with him, something of significance happening in terms of timing with this card, Wheel of Fortune. And it's saying don't expect much movement between now and the Wheel of Fortune period of December 21st to January 20th for him. I'm not going to pull timing cards as of today because I'm going to do, when I wrap up everything, I'm going to do a final reading, just looking at the overall case and pull timing cards for that. But we'll just look at timing with the tarot today. So Spirit's like, this man's going to have a lot of misfortune. He better be very careful while in jail and awaiting whatever fate he's got. It's going to be a bad fate that he's going to experience, which he has it coming. Look at this. This is right. But it's also about him maybe telling the truth about someone's misfortune or someone who has the control, power control, friends and associates, more people coming forward and sharing information about him and his involvement, maybe him having to finally come forward and say who may have helped him after the fact in covering up. And look at here, motive, monetary gain. This is the two plots I was talking about in these past readings. There's this plot with money and monetary gain, and then there's him and his devilish ways. And I just think this almost looks like weapons here. I don't know if they did find the weapon. Maybe they did. Maybe it was buried. Maybe they don't find it. Maybe they do. I don't know. But something is buried as it relates to Keimani. This man is going to go through a lot of misfortune. The season of mid to late autumn going into early winter is going to be a time of significance related to Darnell. It could be also in the past that comes to light about him. So we're talking like November, December, January time period. That could have been in 2024, and it also can be 2025 to 2026, right? Mother. Now it shows an old woman, but don't be fooled. Mother of Earth could be a female, and it could be an older woman, or it could be a woman not so old, but he's going to be revealing stuff, but not right away. Not right away. So we'll see how that pans out. But his fate, he's not going to have, I hope he stays alive, and I hope that he doesn't try to take his own life. I hope that people keep him alive and they keep him in solitary, because he needs to pay. If he did this, and I have to say if, because he hasn't, he hasn't really truly outwardly confessed in court. He hasn't been tried and convicted. So at this point, it's all alleged. But if what is being said is true, he's definitely got what's coming to him with this reverse Wheel of Fortune. Pop quiz time for my peeps who are into tarot. What do you think the reverse Wheel of Fortune means for Darnell? What do you think about the friends and associates card? Or the motive, monetary gain? That doesn't seem congruent to this, does it? But this is what I'm talking about here. Two different things overlapping and going on at the same time with this case. Not all is what it seems. Somebody's been giving false accusations, maybe towards him, about him, or trying to move away from him and trying to land false accusations against someone else and being successful in doing that, when in fact, no, something else entirely is going on here. Whew, this was quite the doozy of a reading session dealing with Darnell, but here we are, praying for justice in all corners of this case. Anyone who's wrong, Keimani, will be dealt with karmically. I feel it. I feel it. And yeah, do me a favor on your way out. Let me lower this. Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will be coming back with doing additional readings like I mentioned before, so stay tuned for that if you are interested. And I do cover other cases on Mystery Mystic. I have a whole playlist devoted to these types of readings. So the playlist that I have will be in the description box, and take a look. See, there may be a case that you were curious about, and I may have covered it. All right, friends, you all take good care of yourselves. Have yourself a good week. Bye for now.